authentic tea experiences. They have more than 50 outlets in India. Sachin Rane. Amarsh Chaturvedi and Ashwini Rawat. Transserve, please put your hands together, was acquired by precisely in 2023. And this is a global leader in, precisely is a global leader in data integrity software, providing accuracy, consistency and context for more than 12,000 customers in more than 100 countries. Indeed, a very big success story. Varia, 1 minute. With a lot of these success stories, I think I skipped to one page. Vanya, in the morning we had this masterclass workshop, and Sachin Karnik conducted this. It was well attended. I happened to sit there for a few minutes. It was very articulate, and I heard from the delegates also. So please put your hands together for Sachin Karnik. We are felicitating you for conducting the masterclass. He has over 25 years of experience in diverse domains and companies. He successfully ran a leading angel investing network as its president, and also helped incubate a UK crowd investing platform as CEO. He has studied production engineering from Mumbai University and executive MBA in marketing. He was awarded the President's Bronze Medal in GDMM from IIMM, Bangalore. Yeah. Till you are standing, you should be introduced, because there is much more. And also we would like to thank Vanya Rangwal, who is the ex-founder, COVID casualty B2C food space, and ex-CITI banker, and retired tennis professional of the WTA. Currently, she is building strategic projects and partnerships at Head Start Network Foundation in 23 plus cities in India and 2 international chapters in Germany, UAE and Finland. She has been immersed in the Indian startup scene for the past few years. Thank you so much for conducting the workshop today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a felicitation of the success stories, and we hope we'll have many more. Now, it is time to listen to the person whom we have been waiting for. Somebody who has shown the dynamism, the vision, the mission. The chief guest for today's evening, the Honorable Minister for ITEC, Shri Goan Varta. We are eagerly waiting your words.
A very good evening to all of you. My good friend, MLA of Bichelim and constituency and chairman of Infotech Corporation, Dr. Chandrakant Shetye, director of the Department of IT, Electronics and Communication, Yashaswini, the MD of the corporation, Shri Praveen Orvadkar, our CEO of the startup, the man who's on the mission, Prashant, Dr. Anil Wani, is he around or is he gone? From BITS Foundation, my friends from HDFC, all the startup community, investors, captains of the industry, the staff of Department of IT, electronic media, press, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, as Praveen said, I would like to convey our best wishes to all of you all on Goa Opinion Poll Day. For the people who don't know, I think we are standing here only because the opinion poll went right when we were a union territory in 1967. And if things had not gone the way it was, we would have maybe been a small part of Maharashtra. So it means a lot to us as we celebrate our opinion poll day. And those days, votes used to count in terms of ballots. And today, social media talks a different way of voting. Coming to the National Startup Day, I convey my best wishes to all of you, the whole fraternity, who is here and who is not here. Especially because as Prashant was talking, the director was talking, doctor was talking, it allowed me to go back to the nostalgic moments when we actually started this whole thought of startups. In 2017, when we rolled out this policy, Dr. Manohar Parrikar, who is no longer here with us, I think spent number of hours together just to get these policies right. It was an example set with the government, industry and the academia working together tirelessly. And a lot of people who are here and people who may not be here around have spent hours together to stitch these policies whom we can say were the best. With only one thought, that we wanted to make Goa as one of the most preferred startup destinations in Asia with the thought of 2025 then. This was somewhere in 2017-18. When the whole cycle started and we started moving about, talking about our things, we realized that the ecosystem has started building up, especially on the startup. It was not matured, but it was a call which we started doing, and people in their own way started moving things. I remember Mr. Riker starting with the legal part, talking about a thought. We could see a lot of passion, we could see a lot of things which were moving. And that made us keep on tuning and redefining our policies to ensure that the startup fraternity gets the best of the support. Every state starts talking and mentioning about the policies. Every state talks about how best they are. But when we went to when we went back to the drawing board and started looking about how many actually have gone into disbursement mode, we realized that most of them were in black and white in paper, but the papers had not moved, and neither did the schemes move in many states. So today, as I stand here and I take the responsibility as a IT minister again under Dr. Pramod Sawant in 2022, this government coming in, I started visualizing the whole gap. 2019, we were out of the government, and then 2 years, we realized that there were a lot of things we had to catch. And we started realizing that a lot of more potential things that we needed to do to ensure the success of this particular policy. Every idea that a government wants to drive, we need two things. One is a good policy, and second is a good driver. If we have the best of the policies and we don't have a good driver to drive that policy, that still remains in the books. So we started hunting and we realized that we needed a good team. Neville, who's been my childhood friend, came in as a helping hand as a OSD in IT. And from there we started hunting, and then we started getting people like Prashant on board. And I'm very happy that in the last 1.5 years, the way we have moved in the startup area, the domain, we have found a lot of vibrancy. We have found a lot of things which were not there in the past, which the policy spoke, but actually the ground reality was not there. And I can see Prashant driving a lot of things in the startup area, which normally people, any government would only want success stories. Every government wants to talk only about success. But we have come here with only one thought: that we need to drive this community in tune with the idea of our Prime Minister's Startup India campaign. And we realized that that potency to convert needs to be mentored. And whether it's a masterclass or the whole day spent to panel discussions or workshops, it's something that needs to be brought together. I think all of you all need to give a good round of applause to Prashant and his whole team for having put up a good. It's not only the National Startup Day, but it's the momentum that we started picking up in the last few months, which I can see across the fraternity. Sriram was an investor and he's a very close friend of mine. So when Sriram came here, my whole thought was the pitch was Sriram is coming to invest into something. Then when I read the book, I realized he's also there in the startup domain, already looking and ruling on that particular part. Congrats, Sriram. But last 6 months have been moving around, getting into the whole domain, moving, meeting people. Dr. Anil Wani is not here. But then we went to BITS for one of those sessions which they had. And I found that there's been a focus on women empowerment. The women empowerment, what is the name, Prashant? Git. Git is something we just started with. And I could see women coming together and actually driving thoughts, which made you start wondering where we were losing this particular and where this gap was. Today, the Prime Minister talks about 4 areas: Yuva Shakti, Mahila Shakti, Kisan Shakti, and Garib Kalyan. So, if the country has to actually go up, these are the 4 verticals we have to start looking at, rather than looking at religion, caste, creed, and things of the past which we are doing, and everything which never meant anything for the success of our country, Bharat. But we need to do it now. And when we talk about Goa, everybody said, IT, Kaina, we have missed the bus. And I was of the whole thought, ki we are the best in the domain because we are not carrying any legacy. The people to transit from what they were doing in a monotonous way to come into Industry 4.0 itself was a task for the communities what they had created. And for Goa, it was a new learning and for a new chapter to start. So I'm very happy on today's day because as we realize the pace of change has grown exponentially. If you look at the speed of adoption of new technology, the adoption of radio universally probably took over 100 years. Adoption of television maybe took about 50 years. And if you go on further, the adoption of smartphones took about 10 years. The adoption rate for newer things has become far more rapid if you look at the new applications being adopted and those that are extinguished. This has presented challenges alongside a lot of opportunities, which means solutions, which in turn means innovation, and therefore the growing need for promotion of an innovative ecosystem arises. When we compare the Forbes 500 list at the turn of the century, there may be less than 10 companies which may be present in both. Population around the world is aging, people are getting older, India is a young country and we are full of youthful population. But 20-25 years from now, when we are talking about the period of Amrit Kal, our population also will peak. And after it peaks, we would also age. So it is our time to make the most of it. The problem with innovation and entrepreneurship is risk taking. Here is the government's role of promoting risk taking, of tolerating for failures, as only when some fail, others will succeed. What happened with West and China regarding sharing of technology are lessons that India can learn from. We need to start funding research and development and get the research model right. It is a long journey, but we have to make the start and there has to be a big focus on this area. The government's role would be to coordinate and incentivize research and development, but we need companies to come forward. The government of India has the Atal Innovations Mission Tinkering Labs at schools, and Goa government has its own. Coding and robotics education in school projects, the bigger vision of this is to create a scientific revolution and to let kids not be afraid of playing with gadgets. And then maybe some of them may become entrepreneurs. So when there's a Bangalore and there's a Hyderabad, how Goa could be different? This was the first discussion which we had and in our drawing board when I took charge as a minister in this government. How could we attract the best talent to Goa and build a conducive environment so that the ecosystem could build up? What could be our USP? We began listening, more listening than our usual government meetings, talking to different people, and we realized that the world is already here in Goa. People from different age groups, different locations all over the world, with different mindsets, different thought processes were already here in Goa. It's a trend we realized that accelerated during the pandemic, the COVID, what we refer to as the digital nomads. People wanted to get out of their homes, experience what life is in different communities, and that is where Goa again is a perfect fit. It has all the right ingredients that fosters creative thinking. Clear that Goa has to be a part of the growth revolution by becoming the next hub of this revolution through emerging technology and creating spaces we chalked out a roadmap where the infrastructure could be strengthened, policies could be built, talent pool too could be nurtured and enhanced, and we could position Goa as the creative capital of our country, Bharat. It is a vision and dream that we share. Some of these initiatives are also set rolling, and some of, as you know, the pace of government systems will take its course. And we are leaving no voice unheard, right from colleges to research institutions. From colleges to research institutions, mature startups, IT companies to different group of communities and stakeholders, this step is vital and will take it to a forefront. Goa, as all of us know, is known as a preferred tourism destination, which indeed is a primary contributing factor to its GDP. We don't have a need to change this image, but to expand on this through IT, inclusiveness and transparency, and to make Goa a preferred location for companies and professionals. It is its charm and atmosphere that makes Goa the perfect destination for companies and professionals to thrive and excel. It can be ideal global opportunities aggregator. Destination Goa shall soon be synonymous with hashtag vacation Goa with an affordable living, high quality lifestyle, and unmatched mobility. Goa is laying an invitation by creating co-working spaces at prominent beaches, beginning with Morjim, Miramar, and Benaulin to start with. This is expected to roll out in the coming months. We have had the opportunity to bring bright creative minds in the media and entertainment industry to Goa for the Media Tech Startup Expo hosted during IFI 2023. Some of these participants are now considering relocating their base to Goa, showcasing the state's growing appeal. As we celebrate the success of startups on this day, I bow before their indomitable spirit. I'm glad that we have HDFC Bank collaborating with us and committing investing close to 1 crore rupees to startups in this fiscal year and look forward to much more mutual beneficial alliances. We've had this lot of thoughts in terms of venture capitals, in terms of Goa Angel networks, in terms of investors coming in and putting their money into startups. Baba Dempo, if I don't mention his name, would be something which I would miss out on National Startup Day. When we started this journey, Baba Dempo has played and is still playing quite a crucial role being a philanthropist other than a businessman, trying to ensure that the Goans in their domain get exposure to what it is. As the government thinks of bridging that gap between job giver and job seeker, it is a collaborative effort of all. It is not only the government, it is not only the academy, or it is not only the industry to work in singular silos, but to come together, keep learning, keep understanding each other, keep tuning to the industry requirements, and ensure that the policies we put in allow you all to get the best of it. Your success means a lot to us. And today, as we are as hungry for success in you, you should be having that hunger for yourself. That unicorn stature with what today Sriram has picked up, I think is an example and testimony that in Goa we can. And if you have the will, you can find a way. Now we have our good chairman, Dr. Chandrakant Shetty, and he has this. When I came in, he was not there. So then they started, should we start the function? I said, no. We have a doctor who has a eye for very minute detailing. So I said, let him come and then we'll start the event together. But as a team, I think we are working together to ensure that the IT department gives justice to everybody. The team is building up. We have a very young director who's come in with a lot of energy. She is an electronic engineer herself. So I think building up a good team was something which was there. And on the National Startup Day, I'm happy to say that a lot of things in this year will start moving across for the startup fraternity. Make the best of it. The success in you is a success in us. Thank you to all the startups once again. For without you, this day would hold no meaning, no worth. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite the Deputy Director ITEC, Mr. Siddharth Borkar, to propose the vote of thanks.
On behalf of Department of Information Technology, Electronics and Communication, I take the privilege to propose the vote of thanks to Honorable Minister, Information and Technology, Electronic Communication, Sri Goan Varta sir, Chairman ITG, Dr. Chandrakant Chettiya sir, Director Information Technology, Electronics and Communication, Miss Yashaswini B. IAS, Managing Director ITG, Shri Praveen Walwatkar, for taking their time out of the schedule and gracing the occasion. I appreciate the eminent speakers who shared their valuable knowledge through workshop, masterclass, and panel discussion earlier today. I also acknowledge the presence of our startups and industry associate, without whom this event wouldn't be a success. I'm grateful to Startup and IT Promotion Cell for their efforts in making this National Startup Day a success today here. And I also